Hey guys, today we are going to talk about chitting our seed potatoes. Okay, wait, what did I just say? I said chitting, C-H-I-T-T-I-N-G, chitting your potatoes, also sometimes known as green sprouting or just sprouting your seed potatoes, okay? My name is Rick Stone from Stony Acres Gardening. Welcome to my channel, and we're super excited to have you here today. Make sure you get subscribed and go follow us over on Instagram as well. Chitting potatoes is something that you really don't have to do, okay? So the essential idea of chitting a potato is that we get it sprouted before we put the potato in the ground. Before we put the seed potato in the ground, we get it sprouted and get these sprouts developed. So if you look here, you can see that we've got some little sprouts that are starting. And by chitting them, we are letting them grow, and we don't want them to get too big, but we're going to let them grow, and that gives us an early start on our potato growth. But it doesn't help that much, okay? It may give you a week to 2 weeks earlier harvest with your potatoes, but it's not necessary. So if you've got potatoes and it's time to get them planted and they haven't been chitted and they're not sprouting like that, throw them in the ground. They're going to be fine, okay? They'll just come up maybe a week or two later than they would otherwise. So chitting potatoes is something that can be helpful, especially in getting a quick harvest, but it is 100% not necessary, okay? All right, so let's talk about the process. It's really simple. All you need to do is essentially bring these seed potatoes into a warm environment. So all through the winter, the seed companies have been saving these potatoes in a very cool environment, usually about 38 to 40 degrees, completely dark, so that they won't sprout, okay? As soon as we start moving them into the warmer temperatures, they are going to start sprouting. And if you really want to get serious about chitting them, then you need to bring them inside completely. So somewhere that is warm, about 70 degrees. We also want that area to be a fairly bright area. The reason why we want brightness is we want to make sure that these sprouts grow short and stocky. We don't want them stretching for the sun or anything like that. And so we want it to be a bright area, but not in direct sunlight. So, you know, a bright room next to a window or something like that that has plenty of light, but we're not getting any direct sunlight on the potatoes, okay? And then we just simply let those potatoes sit, and they are going to sprout. Now, it's also helpful if you put them in a single layer in a tray, and then if you put them with what we call the rows end up. So if you look closely at this potato, you can see that we have an area that has a bunch of sprouts on it, okay? Most, not all, but most seed potatoes will have an area like that, okay? And this is what we want to do is we want to put them in the tray with that up, okay? That part pointing up. Just put them in a single layer. Don't stack them on top of each other or anything like that. Put them in a single layer, bright and warm, and let them sit. Now, how soon should you start doing this? It really kind of depends. Now, these seed potatoes I got from my local farm store, and as you can see, they've already started to sprout a little bit, okay? So these don't need a lot of time because we don't want our sprouts to be about any longer than maybe an inch. The reason why we don't want anything bigger than that is because it becomes very, very likely that when you plant these guys that you'll break those sprouts off if they're longer than that. They become weak and spindly if they get any longer than that. So about 1 inch is all we want. So you really need to kind of think through what is happening with your garden. At the very most, you would want to start chitting your potatoes about 6 weeks before you intended to plant them. And that is with potatoes that don't have any signs of sprouting yet, okay? So what I'm going to do is I've got about 10 pounds of potatoes here. I'm going to go through really quick, spread these out in a single layer, and then we're going to put them in our bathroom. We have a spot in our bathroom that has 2 bright windows that we never open the blinds on. So it's bright and light, but no direct sunlight. And we're going to put those there. It's about 70 degrees in our house all the time, and these guys are going to do really well. And I'll come back 2 or 3 weeks later and show you the end result. All right, guys, welcome back. So it has been 4 weeks. I ended up going a little bit longer than I expected with these, but here are those potatoes that I had in the original video. They have been chitting for about 4 weeks now, and they look really good. So let me get the actual potato that I was waving around, and we'll see if we can get things to focus here. So I'm really happy with how these guys turned out. They look really, really good. So this is what we want. We don't want those potatoes to look like a bag of potatoes that you ended up leaving in your cupboard and they get long and stringy. That's not what we're going for. We're looking for nice, compact, full of color. That's why we put it in an area that has plenty of light. We've got some greens, we've got the purple and the reds from this potato. Everything looks really, really good. And look at the size. That's perfect. That is what we're going for when we're trying to chit potatoes. It's just a nice, solid sprout that is not going to get broken off when we plant it and is going to help us to get going sooner. So these are ready to go on the ground. It's about April 28th today, and we've got about 2 weeks until our last frost, and so these are just going to do perfect. These should be up fairly quickly, probably up 2 or 3 weeks sooner than the other potatoes that I have in my garage right now that I bought last weekend that haven't been chitted. So they will be up sooner, will grow a little bit quicker, and that's the advantage of chitting. But again, you don't have to do it. You can just put your potato seeds in the ground even with them not chitted, and they will grow just a little bit slower. So the only advantage to chitting is that it speeds things up and gets us going just a little bit quicker, okay? All right, so that is chitting potatoes. Let me know in the comments down below, do you chit your potatoes? Do you take the time to do this every year? Or do you just throw your potatoes in the ground and get after it? So let me know in the comments what you do, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those as well. Thanks for watching today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Follow us over on Instagram as well. We'd love to have you join us there, and we'll talk to you next week. Happy gardening.